Hello, it's Alison here again, and another fireside yoga with me and Dolly, who's just waved at the camera. Okay, so tonight's class or session, it's not a proper class, we're going to do mainly lying down. In fact, all of it's going to be lying down. And you may want one additional thing. So you may want like a cushion or a folded pillow, or if you've got something firm like a big thick blanket that you can fold up, then something like that is ideal. So that's what we'll use a little bit later on. Okay, so we'll start off lying down, staying lying down. You don't need the cushion at that point unless you want something under your head. So I shall come down to lying on the back, and to start with we're going to keep our knees bent and the feet on the floor, roughly about hip width apart, just a comfortable space. And like I say, you might want a little thin cushion under the head, but you might not. Okay, rest yourself down. We'll let the hands rest on the belly and have a long, slow inhale through the nose. Sigh it out through an open mouth. Another one of those. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the open mouth. Okay, just carry on with a nice relaxed breath. Then we'll start to bring in a little movement for mainly the hips and the spine. We're going to start with progressive moving bridge. So you can keep the hands resting on the belly or have them down by the sides of the body. Focus on the back of your hips, the back of the pelvis, and tilt the lower back into the floor slightly, so you slightly peel up the buttocks off the floor and then relax back down. So we'll do that again. We tilt slightly, a little bit more of the bottom's going to lift up off the floor and then relax down. So we do this on the breath, so you might inhale as you lift and exhale as you come down. And when we lift again, so tilt the pelvis, lift, maybe peel the whole of the bottom up, and then exhale back down. Each time we lift, we'll lift a little more. So we tilt, peel up the bottom, the base of the spine, maybe halfway up the cage, and then lower back down. Couple more. So we inhale, peel up, coming up maybe towards the shoulders, and then rest back down. And either rest there or take one more. Peel up nice and slowly. Lift up as far as you're comfortable. Then we'll roll back down. Relax. Breathe out. Follow the flow of your breath. Okay. So we're going to now focus on the hips. So you can either do this holding onto your knees or just bring the knees in over the chest slightly. So don't worry if the knees don't come in very far, and if you can't hold on to them with your hands, just bring them in a little bit. And then we're going to take hip circles. So start to take the hips slightly over the ribs, out to the sides slightly, and then bring them back together over the hips. So you're making a circle. Don't worry about the size. So you might draw them in closer up to the armpits. You might go quite wide outside and then bring them together, but maybe nice and small. So if you've got any hip issues and you don't want to take the hip out really wide, keep the circles nice and small. And with a steady breath. Okay. Pause there and we'll put the feet back down on the floor. Just relax the breathing. Follow the flow of your breath. Okay, so we're going to do that in the opposite direction. So we'll start again with the knees coming in slightly over the rib cage, no matter how far they come in, and then move them away from you directly, so they're more or less where we if you had your feet on the floor, like the hips are over, so the knees are over your hips, and then we widen them out to the side, and then bring them in over the rib cage. So opposite direction from what we did before. So again, vary the size of your hip circling to suit what your hips are happy with. So you can keep it really small, or you can make it much bigger if the hips feel happy. Okay, take one more there, and then you can rest the feet back down on the floor. Okay. Next one we're going to do is Vipassana, downward energy pose. So we're going to bring just the right knee in over the chest. So again, if your arms don't reach to the knee, it doesn't matter, just draw the knee in using your own muscle strength. Otherwise you can hold onto the leg. Now with the other leg we can keep it where it was, or you can do the half and half version. So you can extend it slightly and have a small bend in the knee. The sole of my foot is still on the floor. I shuffle backwards. You might just be able to see that. Okay, so you can have the foot on the floor, or you could lengthen the leg out completely. Keep the head resting down and relax. Okay, and then release. We'll change legs. So we're going to draw the left knee in towards the upper body. Keep the right foot where it was, so we've got the foot quite close to the buttocks, knee pointing to the ceiling. So any lower back issues that feel like it would be more comfy, stay here. As you start to extend the leg, notice any changes in the lower back. So I find that for most people a half and half version feels quite nice with the leg semi-extended. If you feel more comfortable in the back, you might fully lengthen the leg out. Again, stay and breathe for a couple of breaths. Good. And then release. Okay, come back. Keep both feet on the floor, hip width apart. Let the hands rest on the belly. Breathe here. Okay. The next one we do, we're going to take a rocking motion from side to side with the legs. So have the feet about hip width apart and then widen them a little more. Okay? And then start to sway the legs towards 30 or 40 degrees to one side. Bring them back to the middle and then slightly over to the other side. So it's about halfway down. So they come up and then go over, then come up and then go over. So in time with your breath, you might find you breathe in as you lower them to the floor, towards the floor, and then breathe out as you bring them back up. You might do it the other way around. So nice and gentle. And if you want to speed it up, you can make it much quicker, kind of rocking from side to side. This might feel really nice for your lower back and for your abdominal region. Okay, good. And then bring that to a pause. And then for the final thing, this is where we're going to use our cushion or our pillow. So whatever support you've got available, you want probably a good inch or more to be able to feel it. So you might need to fold your cushion up. That's going to be underneath your pelvis. Okay, so as you lie down, lift your hips up or put it underneath. So now you feel like you're slightly raised in the pelvis. The head is going to rest down. Again, if you want something under the head or neck, then pop that in place. So we're going to rest here to begin with. And if you feel like you can't sense much of a lift, you might want something much deeper. So you could have a much thicker cushion underneath you. Okay. So from this lying down position, draw one knee in and then start to lift the leg up to the ceiling. And then slightly bring the other knee in and lift the leg up. So the legs are slightly bent. They're lifting up to the ceiling. Notice any changes of pressure in your breathing, in your head, in your ears. If it doesn't feel right, bring the feet back down. We'll just stay for a couple more breaths. Okay, and then slowly bend one foot down, the other foot down, and then we'll rest here. So you can stay resting on the cushion. Let the hands rest on the belly. If it doesn't feel comfy having this cushion underneath you, take it out and rest directly on the floor. So with your hands resting on the belly, allow the breathing just to settle to a nice, relaxed, calming breath. Bring your awareness to the hands and see if they're moving. We want to try and shift our breathing down into this area. It's called belly breathing, although obviously anatomically it's not your belly actually breathing. Also called diaphragmatic breathing, because we're trying to use the diaphragm a little more. So try and make the hands move as you breathe. So as you breathe in, the hands should rise up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, let them come down towards the floor. Small amount of movement is fine. Belly breathing is a very calming and relaxing breath. Follow the breath. Follow the rise and fall of the hands. And then bring your awareness back to the whole of the physical body. Slowly lift the hips up and move the cushion out from underneath you. And then just rest back down again. Pause here for a couple of breaths. And then if you feel ready, you could roll to one side. So you're lying on your side, head rests down, legs rest down. And then we'll slowly come back up. Okay, good. Take your time to bring yourself back up. So hopefully those little movements would have been nice for the hips, the lower back, and the spine as well. And nice and calming and gentle. Okay, so thank you for joining me and Dolly, and I hope you have a nice day the rest of your evening. Bye bye.